All right. Hello there. Going live again for Peter's Random Piano Tips number 8. And this one is for Leslie Gaston. And Leslie asked me about a figure she's trying to learn in, oh boy, what is it? Oh, I can't even pronounce it. Jouy sous la pluie? Or something like that. Yeah, I'm actually not even sure if this is a WC piece or not. It seems like WC, but I'm not sure. I've never played this one. I was just taking a quick look at it, and it relates to some of the WC stuff that I've learned. So I'm going to share with you kind of my way of learning this, which mostly I learned from Charlie Banakis. You got the octave in the left hand. Left hand's real easy here, thankfully. The figure looks a little bit harder than it is because it's groups of 5 here, I guess. I printed it out from what you wrote in there, and I can't even see. Maybe there's a group of 6 in here too. Anyway, the figure is like this. So that changes, then it hits 2, and then it's 1, which makes it a 5 phrase, and then it's 2, which makes it a 6 phrase, and then it's 1, which is a 5 phrase, and then 2, which makes it a 6 phrase. So you can see, like, when I go through this, I go through it real slow, and I just make sure I've got the notes right. That's the first step. You've got to get the notes right. But you can see I'm already establishing the fingering, and that's one of the crucial things to learning a passage like this, is establishing your fingering right off the bat as best you can. So once you've got your sense of what the notes are and the fingering, then you can break it into basically chord chunks. Alright, so my first chord chunk is right here, which is the first 3 notes. And then my second chord chunk is this, which is the next 3 notes, and actually the note after that, and the note after that. So, and then I'm going to have this one, because I'm going to go, whoops, sorry. Swap my finger right here from the thumb to the pinky. Still alive? I think I'm still alive. Alright. Alright. So, back to here. So you can see from the fingering right here, I know I'm going to swap my pinky for the thumb. And then I've got my next shape. So basically you can break these into chord shapes based on your fingering. See that? So 1, 2, 3, and then here, and you can actually do this one. I think you want to include that note right there because you're getting it twice. So boom, boom, boom. Here, boom, boom. Let's see. Yep. And then and then here. So here's, I gotta change it up. So boom, 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 boom. Like this, just the 3 notes, because when I get here, this is really my shape. So I'm gonna go boom, boom. And I want my hand to be prepared for that right away. You see that? So like the boom sound effects. And then, boom, you can hit this one, because it's doubled. So you get this one, and then this one. Boom. Boom. This one I'm not gonna hit the bottom note. Boom. 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 This one I am. Boom. 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 Whoops. Yeah. See, this is where it's like your brain can't process all that information very well. So when you chunk it into chords like this, it helps consolidate the information in your brain. And that's the ticket, man. Consolidating the information in your brain in chunks. See that right there? Now my hand's starting to learn. This makes me excited. I'm such a nerd for this, but just I'm learning the shapes here and exactly where my fingers are going to go. And I'm able to remember these shapes because it's only 3 things, right? It's actually 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 notes here, but I'm putting it into 3 shapes. And my brain's going to be able to remember the order of this stuff. Boom, 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 boom. And here's not, I'm not going to grab that one. It's important that I remember that. Boom, boom. Yeah. You can see the process, right? Program that in to my brain. Boom, boom. This one I'm not gonna double. This one I am gonna double. I like that one. That's funny. There it is. Now I'm starting to really get where the notes are at. There. Shit. I was going by memory and I lost it. Yeah, I don't want to double there. And this one I double. Okay, so now I could do that. I could, honestly, if I really wanted to just nail this passage, I'd probably do that for another 10 or 15 minutes, you know? Just to make sure I'm really clear with it so I can go like this, especially if I want to be able to play it real fast. Because if I can't do that, forget it. There's no point in trying to figure out the arpeggio. I need my fingers to know exactly where they're going. And you can do this with each one. Right? Let's see. Yeah. And then, right, and then connect them. There it is. Damn it. Is that right? Nope. There it is. So then maybe I'm going to slow it down and try to connect them. So I really have the order. Yep. Oops. I did it wrong. So I'm trying to rush through this process just to show you in the course of the video, but I hope you're getting the idea. Now I'm going to actually stop this and I'm going to go into trying to arpeggiate it. And we may not wind up at a very fast tempo, but I'm going to get it right. See, my fingers know where they're going, which is so nice. So, excuse me, the sniffles a little bit tonight. Let's see if I can do it a little faster. Oh, I'm doubling that top note. That's wrong. See if I can get like 1 bar fast and then like 2 bars fast, and just see, maybe I'll break it into 2-bar chunks. See if I can get the 2 bars here fast, 2 bars here fast. Let's see. That's a tricky one right there. Yep. So let's see about this bar. Nope. My guess is, I don't know this piece, unfortunately, but my guess is this is more gestural thing than absolute, like, has to be perfect 5s and perfect 6s. It's more like, this is the figure in this bar. So, in which case, I'm not worrying too much about exactly precise, 5s and 6s here. I'm just trying to get the phrase. So let me see if I can get those first 2 bars. I'm going to go over the 2nd bar again. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. And then I want to hit boom right there. So I'm going to pay attention to my transitions. That's what I'm going to real key to learning a figure like this. Boom. So let me see if I can do those first 2 bars in a nice gesture and get to this note on the 1. Ah. Close, right? Nice. So, to learn this whole thing, I just go through the same process. Oops. So, I'm going to go back through these guys, make sure I'm not messing up. Whoops. There's no double hit. Slower. Oh, my left hand keeps wanting to double hit that G. I'm going to have to work on that to get this phrase. But I hope you get the idea, Leslie. You know, again, that's, you know, whatever, we've been doing this for about 15 minutes or so. You know, getting a phrase like this, you know, probably, you know, make sure like I'm really going to be able to play it like in a concert. This is going to take me just these 8 bars, and who knows how long this piece is. It could be, you know, 200 bars or more. So, you know, just his 8 bars might take me an hour to really feel like confident in it. And then honestly, that's not enough. You know, I'm going to practice it for that hour. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to practice it the next day. I'm going to sleep on it. I'm going to practice it the next day. Probably going to, you know, have to spend a month with a piece like this to really get it performance ready. That's just me. You know, some people who are great sight readers or are used to these kind of patterns and whatnot might be able to pull it off in a lot less than that. But I hope that's helpful. And you know, remember the key is getting your shapes, taking it slow, making sure you get the notes exactly right first, and getting your fingerings right, so that you're figuring out like, oh yeah, I have to go to my thumb right here, and when I come back down to my pinky, that kind of thing. Make your fingerings right, and then split that up into shapes and get your fingers going in chords that so that your fingers learn exactly where they're going, your hands learn exactly where those shapes are. Right? Okay? And then, you know, you start arpeggiating it and actually realizing it in the full context, adding speed to it. You know, this going from here, like this kind of tempo, which might be where you're at, Leslie, you were saying you can play it but not fast, to here, I don't know, you know, this is partly just experience and technique, right? But the one technique I can tell you, just last thing here, is that each one of these shapes that you create is basically a movement of the arm. Okay, so movement of the arm, movement of the arm, movement of the arm, movement of the arm. Oops. Slow that down into slow motion. Yeah, it's actually like forward with the elbow, forward with the elbow, coming back, forward with the elbow, forward, forward, back, forward. And that way your fingers, the only way you can move them that fast is if they know exactly where they're going, and that's what the chords are for. If there are tricky spots like that, you can just isolate it. Make sure you, oops. Alright, see, my pinky loves to hit that C. Oops. And you find all sorts of little mistakes when you do these kind of isolations. Oops. So I hope that's helpful. Have a great night, y'all.